What's up, brother? Hope you're doing well, man. It's been a while. We gotta pop in just a bit, okay? You post this to Twitter. I always forget to post to Twitter for some reason. Okay, we get it started before anybody else jumps in. Get it popping just up jip. Okay. Need to clean up all these fucking charts. Okay. Get the chat box back up. Alright. Welcome everybody. This is your boy Satoshi motherfucking Heavy Saturday in here. Hope everyone's doing great. Get your pens, get your papers ready. It's about to be a good one. We can discuss high 10 frames charts on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, and a few stocks, DGI, SPX, and I think that must be all. And gold as well. So welcome. This is your boy with a dose of crypto stocks and some forex or something like that. Anyways, we'll start with Bitcoin as we always do. I know I said I don't want to start with the talk about low time frame charts, but I'm just gonna give you the idea I have right now on this particular trade. Now, I think that this whatever we're in right now is bound to move back up. This entire move here just seems way too corrective to say it's the start of a new trending to pace to the downside. So, what I'm thinking this is it's a combo, which unfortunately I saw earlier today. I don't know why I didn't take the trade. This high point right there, I saw this possibility of being a WX spot to the downside or ABC. If you end like this, it's a WX. It's I would say it's an ABC with the truncation there. If we make another low, I would allow one more low for this. By the way, we're not going to discuss anything like this on Ethereum, Litecoin, or any other pairs we cover today. Like I said, I want to try to stay with the high time frame charts only on the weekend, Sunday. Besides Bitcoin, I'll always dabby probably on the lower time frame just because it's Bitcoin. But when it comes to the rest of them, I'm going to stay with the high time frame charts. just to keep things faster and make things a little more split. You know, during the week, intraday, weekend, high time frame. So, anyways, I personally think this is bound for a move up. What I'm watching here is I'm gonna be really looking for this trend line to break, but I'm thinking that it'll happen so quickly that we won't get a chance for a consolidation pattern above it, which is one of the key things I look forward to for like a valid reversal point. So another thing we could possibly watch is watching the 5-minute momentum and seeing when that rolls back bullish. Right now we're bearish. Right? This is another reason why I stayed bullish for a little bit, because I bought these lows here. I thought this was a 5 of impulse. It probably was, but this was ended up being a 5, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I saw this momentum flip positive, and so I stayed and held on to my long. I ended up getting stopped out like right here, and I said to my members that if we broke 8,800, we're going to go down to 86, and that's literally exactly what happened. Just missed 86 by 20 bucks. So it missed my initial. I had a few orders here to go long because I saw this idea happening, but it didn't get picked up. So now I'm kind of sitting sidelines trying to see exactly what this is. In my opinion, this again has a look of a diagonal, just like that did. And so, with this idea is a high chance that this could be the first subwave of that big C wave I'm trying to catch here. There's a few different ways you could count this again. I believe that this is all one move. This move here is 5 waves. This is W, this is X, this is Y. Flat, sum 3, zigzag. This is a zigzag. Unless we end up going further, then it ends up being a 1, 2. But right now this is a zigzag with a down, up, retrace less than 60%, validates for a zigzag, comes down, breaks that low, is a valid zigzag at that point, unless we end up trailing over further, then it ends up being a 1, 2. And what I mean by 1, 2 is that this is probably a 1, 2, 3, weird 4, and this itself is a diagonal, and this is 1, 2, 1, 2, and this ends up being 3 breakers to the downside. We technically could allow one more low here in regards to time. If you say that 2 ended here to there. But for some reason, I'm thinking that this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, that's 5, and then again, this is starting a new uptrend, trending piece. So I'm going to have a half lot buy in on that break here. And then if volume comes in, we end up consolidating above that like that, then I'll end up buying the secondary half of my desired lot value and end up placing my stop like the 618 of this entire move up and targeting this high here, and that would be my trade plan. And the reason why I'm thinking this is because this right here is 5 waves. Unless this is 5 waves in itself and this is a contracting flat I just missed, we should expect another 5 wave impulse at some point on this side, and that's what I've been fishing for. I thought it was this, or it was this move at first, ended up not going where we wanted to. We ended up shorting this move because at first I thought it was part of this, but then I saw more complexity. We ended up shorting it. We closed here in this area. I remember it's closed here in this area. Should have held a little bit longer, but again, that was just my fault for not paying attention to rules on the higher time frame, aka the 30-minute. I let the low time frame sway me, which was the 5-minute momentum. I let it sway me. It's all good though. So now that we got that, let's jump out to the higher time frame. I'm gonna go ahead and change this chart so I don't have to, because this chart is I use it on all my lower time frame trading. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the Bitcoin chart on Coinbase. So that kind of played out. It ended up being a contracting flat, not a full flat, which was unfortunate, but it's all good. So let's go to the hot time frame. I don't want adjust, I want real. Okay. What the fuck is going on? A few things. Again, I am a firm believer that this top here was a major top in regards to this entire move. I'm still with the idea, and I'm not going to change my idea until I get invalidated, that this is an ABC or a WXY. I don't give a fuck. It could be a WXY, it could be an ABC. I don't care. All that I care about is that this should break this high at some point. That's all I care about. 10,500 is the target. Invalidation is if we start trading below, my opinion, 8,300 is pretty important to me. So if we start trading below 8,300, I'm going to be invalidate this. But technically, I guess 81, 87 is the line in the sand that, in regards to like support and resistance, is the level that we would be watching. We have a buy signal on OG Chevy, along with the buy signal on the OG signal down there, which is fucking crazy, honestly. We don't have a sell signal on the OG signal or the momentum plus OG signal, which is those. So there's no reason to assume, you know, we're now trending back to the downside, other than the fact, you know, the lower time frames may, you know, sway you somewhat, but the higher time frames still look healthy. And as long as we could hold these levels, there's no reason for me to disbelieve or disregard what I initially thought was going to happen. And that is this low posted at 3,800 was the low of the year. And I'm going to be a firm believer on that. We will not see this low all year. And maybe even further. Okay? This depends on what happens after this C wave ends. A lot of things could happen here. For now, I'm going to be, again, a firm believer that this is 1. Here. Truncation in wave 5. This ends up being a running flat 2. Again, I think this is done. There's a few ways you can count this. If we're gonna assume this is it's not the prettiest impulse. It's not. This is not the prettiest leading diagonal. This is not a prettiest impulse either, but it unfortunately holds rules on the lower substructure, and so we have to, respect that. That could be a 1-2, a running flat 3, deep retrace 2, running flat 3, extension of wave 5. And that makes sense. You know, wave 3 is longer than wave 1. It hits a 1.236 at wave 1. Wave 4 does not retrace into wave 2. Wave 2 and wave 4 have extreme alteration. Wave 2 is sharp and retraces a lot. Wave 4 sideways and retraces barely any. And the final test is that at least one of your waves, 1, 3, or 5, has to be an extension. Wave 5 was that extension, being over 1.618 of wave 1 and or 3. That validates us for a valid impulse to the upside. And thus, send me Twitch. Send me your send me it in Discord. Send me a message in Discord or Twitter, and just send me your trading view name, and I'll get you added. Yeah, this is having the momentum candle color change. It's pretty powerful in regards to helping you understand, where the trade should go. It doesn't mean it's gonna go there, but it's saying where that's where it most likely will go. And it's pretty powerful, it got you there. It would have got you, depending on what you saw. It tried to, the brighter the color is, the more powerful it is. When it starts turning like light pink and stuff, that's when it starts shifting to the other side. When it starts turning, I guess, teal, that's when it starts shifting to the downside, and you see that here. So like, easy long there, exit there, because it starts turning over. You wouldn't really want to stay long until you get confirmation that is strongly bullish, which is these bright colored candles. Didn't get there, started flipping red, flipped red there, and it was pretty hefty red the entire time here. Started turning pink there, so you wouldn't be short anymore, but you'd go long there as soon as it started turning bright cayenne, or I guess aqua color. Anyways, so with this idea, again, I'm a firm believer that this is a major top for now. It doesn't mean not major top, a minor top, and that this is now correcting somewhat similar to this move here. And so I'm expecting some sideways action for at least another At a bare minimum, at least another 6 days with a target of 10 days. What I mean by that is if we find a logical low that could be posted right here at, you know, the 7-day mark, whatever the fuck it was, I will be looking, but I wouldn't necessarily trade it as a positional trade just because it didn't hit the requirements I exactly want to see. Now, if we make that low in this box, a logical low in this box, I'll be setting up for more of a positional trade, swing trade, right? What up, everybody? What up, Prithvi? What up, brother? CK. So, if we, another thing I want to notice here as well is, not notice, but take note of, is that if this is indeed wave 3, the only reason Twitch, hey, people who are asking for the indicator, Twitch gets it because he was part of Elevate, was a huge part of Elevate in the infancy, and he's basically a diamond member, so he gets access to the indicators. The motherfucker knows what he's doing. Anybody who is not part of Elevate, I will give you a week or 2 trial of any of the indicators that I show and use. And then beyond that, it's up to you to decide if you want to opt in to buy the subscription from Elevate and or make a deal with me on one of my indicators, stuff like that. Okay, enough with that talk. I want to continue what we're trying to talk about today, which is where the fuck price can go. So again, this is not the prettiest thing ever. Wave 3 did not hit an extension of wave 1. Therefore, if this is going to be a wave 3, wave 5 will be less of wave 3. This should actually be this color. This should actually be red. The few things I don't like about it is, let me just see real quick. Ooh. So usually, no, it doesn't. Everything is always in the charts. And everything will always be told in the charts. Everything. You will see weakness in the charts, it will be weak. If you see strength in the chart, it will be strong. All that is a way to fill your narrative. That's all it is. Don't let that shit fill your narrative. Find out what the chart is telling you and trade it. So the only thing I don't like about this retrace on 2 is that it didn't make a minimum requirement for a retrace to say that it is a logical and allowed Elliott wave impulse. Usually you need a required 0.382 retrace of the impulse to say that this is indeed a valid impulsive phase. Now that is not a traditional Elliott wave rule. It is a guideline provided by NeoWave, and the guideline that I like to respect heavily since I'm a NeoWave trader. Therefore, even though I have this depicted, I'm going to show you what to me makes more sense from a rule-based and guideline-based aspect. This would make more sense to a traditional Elliott wave trader and what they would probably look for as a wave count. But it's nothing I cannot say is extremely wrong. It's not, because it follows the old rules pretty well. And so I cannot knock that aspect. Why does this keep going to other colors? This needs to go there, this needs to go here. And so those levels are very important. This is the count that they would probably look for. The count that I think would fit the best because of that one aspect here. We didn't hit a minimum requirement for a retracement. That was here. We didn't hit that. And so, to me, what fits best is just a weird, not weird, but just a giant combo, WXY combo. Pretty good buyback. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. I have no idea, man. I don't know why. I have, look, on my screen, I literally have nothing on my screen. Like, literally nothing on my screen. Like, there's nothing right there. I have no idea. Zero clue. Even my chart name is called Elliott Wave Bitcoin. So I have zero clue why that's there. If you, zero clue. I looked at YouTube, like my YouTube settings. I don't have zero, bro. Zero clue. Zero clue. So again, I don't know. So stop it. It's like the 17th time someone asked me that. I have no idea. Okay, so the best way this works, because like I said, we have to follow. If you're gonna use Elliott Wave, you gotta follow the rules and guidelines. You have to. Don't break or bend rules. You have to follow them. Since that didn't meet the required retrace to say this is a valid impulse. This didn't even hit an extension. I know. This didn't hit an extension of what you would normally see in Wave 3, unless it's gonna be, unless this turns into a 1-2, which is possible. Oh, that's my no. You might be right. I might have to go because OBS updated, so maybe I have to go change it. So the only way this ends up being a valid impulsive phase is if this ends up being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that retrace rule. It's a guideline. It's not a rule. It's a guideline. It's not a rule. So if this ends up happening, then that guideline, we can toss out the water and say, okay, this isn't actually a valid Elliott Wave impulse now. But since we didn't hit that requirement, since what seems like the first subwave or major move has completed, has not hit a required extension to say this is a valid Wave 3, which is normally gets up here. The only two things it could be at this point is subwave of Wave 3, which I don't think is going to happen. Or what, again, is the most valid way, flat X zigzag WXY WXY A, B, C, or WXY. They both work. It doesn't matter really. This ends up doing like this. Flat WXY, flat X zigzag, flat X zigzag. The rule of alteration on WXY is fucking, it's such a moneymaker. Please use it if you're an Elliott Wave trader. If you're not using it, then you're not gonna get those corrective phases correctly very often. And again, flat X zigzag. That was 5 waves up. That was a long B wave sideways. And this was a straight explosive zigzag. Flat. Hits the rules really well. And so, again, if I'm a believer, we're due for one more high. And this because it has to deal with the stock market as well. I'm a believer that the stock market as well will go for one more high. But we cannot break this trend line because I'm a believer that this is a WXY. I'm gonna say that this is a WXY. Well, maybe we could break it. Let's see here. It's funny how it's nearly the same. If you zoom into the middle wave from 6100 to 73, yeah, this is three waves. This is 3 waves. All this section right here is corrective. This entire section right here is corrective. Yes, an X wave could be any corrective phase, depending on what the structure you're talking about. So, like, in a triple zigzag, your X obviously cannot be, what the hell fuck's an ET for? Hold on. It cannot be an expanding triangle in a triple zigzag. Or in a double 3, it cannot be a double zigzag or triple zigzag or any triple three or double three. The next wave cannot be a double three, double zigzag, triple three or triple zigzag in a double three. But in a double zigzag, it could be any corrected phase except an expanding triangle. So yeah, it gets kind of confusing when it comes to X-waves. But if you need help remembering all these rules and guidelines, I have a very, 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 very informative picture on my Twitter. Go to my pin post and scroll through all of my pin post links. I have a list of everything I've ever felt like I've offered that was alpha for free there. So all my free tips and trading, all my free indicators I've provided, everything that I felt was alpha will be there, including all these little guidelines and rules. So go, if you need help with that, please go look at that. So I was initially gonna say that if this trend line broke, I'm gonna be very bearish, but the way time is looking right now, I think we can allow this, but it cannot break further than this. I'm about to show you now. Further than shit. If we lose this trend line here, not this one. So if we lose, we have to sustain this trend line right here. If we lose it, I'm going to be very bearish, okay? And if this is going to be a WXY, we're going to look for almost essentially the same exact time frame for a reversal signal. So again, the only way this runs up and makes a new high beyond this 9,560 mark is if this ends up being a weird 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which I don't personally like because, again, that didn't retrace far enough. This substructure is not the best subwave structure for impulse. So, you know, I'm more with the idea that this is going to end up being a WXY combo. Oh shit, that's C wave that needs to be there. And this will end up being this. We could go out here, but those were I would not be long. I would have to look for some other confirmation and stay long if that point happens. So this is my idea on the highest time frame. And exactly why I think this. Bitch. This ends up being this. Sorry, I like to make sure my degrees are correct. And also color coordinated. So this is my idea. Again, someone may label it a little bit differently, call this 3. That's fine. I won't argue with you too much. I would say there's probably a better way to count it. But that fits the guidelines and rules a little bit better. One thing I want to take note on is how low the 4-hour stochastic is, and how we got some pretty hefty divergence forming in the 4-hour stochastic. We have a complete sell signal on the scalp tool here. It's pretty powerful. We want to listen to it. Not necessarily on the 4-hour, but it does hold value on the higher time frames. You see, it had you long from here, basically all the way here. Had you short here to there. Had you long here, which was probably late. Short here, down to there. That would have got you in a bad long as well. But the thing I'm noticing here is these hidden divergences that are forming on this stochastic and SRSI. Pretty hefty, even from here to here. If we start closing 4-hour candles below 8,610, then I'll be bearish to 8,130. But as long as we can sustain the closes of the 4-hour candle over you know, 8,600. I have to. Let me show you. Hold on. My guy, it's right there. It's right there. Right there. Hold on. I bet you I'll find it in 10 seconds. 10 seconds. So get to daily, stochastic, and stuff like that. Daily, you know, this is why, you know, I was with the idea that we're in a corrective phase, is because the daily stochastic and daily RSI, it needs to reset and retest. The RSI needs to retest these MAs here, and stochastic has to retest bull range up here. We've been just fucking hovering up near the peak the entire time. We need to retest and kind of reset this. Behold this. Create this hidden create a hidden divergence on RSI, which you probably will get a double bottom right here. But obviously this top or bottom close is here, and thus if price could stay up here in this range, it's bullish, right? Because that's hidden divergence technically. And we see on a daily, our tool is 100% bullish, 100% bullish. So there's no reason to assume, you know, we're trending to the downside significantly. We may start seeing signs of it on a lower time frame, but on a higher time frame, everything looks solid for at least a continuation after some consolidation. Okay, we're about to go on ETH. I'm gonna go look at my profile real quick, and I'm like 90% sure it's in this. It's just I listed these kind of out of order, so you're gonna have to like click on every single one of these, and eventually you'll find it. Kind of a headache. Let's see here, right here, boom, found it. I'm gonna send you this link. Just scroll down this. Found it. Told you it was very quick with that. Yeah, go follow that. So the game plan now. So the game plan again. This is my idea. I'm thinking this is gonna hold. Come up, do this. It's gonna hold this channel right here. It's gonna hold this channel right here, like this. What's what title? It's gonna come up here, double top on a daily, then come back down, hopefully clear those lows. This will probably be a 5-wave impulse of these 2 degrees. And then at this point, you know, I'll definitely long this. Then I'll see what happens. If we end up coming up in 3 waves, then we know this is all one part of this, and thus at that point we'll confirm this move here for one more high. If this moves up in 5 waves, then I'll be more bearish. So if this moves up in 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'll be a little bit more bearish, because then that could mean that, you know, maybe this is an ABC I'm just missing, or not ABC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More free alpha. I pinned it. I gave it to you. It's in the chat box. I'll drop another link right here. Boom. Anyways. So that's my game plan. That's what I was thinking. If we start closing under that level I said, the one that says elevate trading, elevate fib targets buy. I'm so confused on what you guys are talking about. Alright, let's go to ETH. Then what the fuck are you talking about? Then you shouldn't need to know if you're asking me about rules, that all that has it. In guidelines, go read that. It literally says it right here. What could be in a DZ, which is a double zigzag? It tells you what they are, and then it tells you, you know, what W of W, what W of X, what W of Y, what the likelihood of it being out of a ZZ. If it's a ZZ, then this is likely to be 24% of a 24% likely to be a zigzag or flat. You know, it tells you all the little details, all of it. You just have to read it and understand. It's kind of confusing if you're just looking at it, trying to make it simple and read it. It's not like that. You have to study it, understand each little like, what do you call it? When you break down you shorten the letter, shorten the word. Each thing has I can't know you're going brain dead. Anyways, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Study it. Study it. Okay. So, ETH is very strange. ETH is very, very strange. I'm honestly... I know it's not the entire price history of ETH. I guess we'll do that real quick. I guess we'll do that. Kraken. So that was good. But time went too far for this Y. This works decently for a WXY. If you go that there. That's 3 waves. This also looks like 3 waves. I'm going to stay with that. This may get moved to there. Only reason I don't like it is that X is a little too fast for me. Oh shit. Never mind, it's perfect. Holy shit. So this is very valid. I like this. And it makes sense to why we broke down like this. Not. Oh, fib time rules. Shit, bro. Do I have that? I don't think I posted that anywhere. That's kind of like... That's sauce. That's some super sauce right there. Here, this picture here gives you a good idea. I'll give you a hint. I can't give away all my stuff for free. Well, I can. I guess I could give you this. I won't explain to you exactly, but the main idea is your adjacent waves will your adjacent waves will always hold a relationship in time and price within 1/3 of a 1-to-1. That's essentially it. That's literally it. Now, when it comes to like extensions and understanding extensions and how far you can go like that, that's when it gets a little bit confusing and complex. But I promise you, you don't really need to know that to really get a grasp on time. You really don't need to know that. Okay? Adjacent, remember the thing is, adjacent waves will always hold a relationship in time and price within of a 1-to-1 within 1/3 time. Alright? And if you need help setting up your tool, you can take a screenshot of this real quick. These are your most important levels. Right here. These are your most important levels. This, if you hear me say sister waves, this is where your sister waves are mostly found. These are your hotspots. Again, I'm not going to explain to you exactly, because if you want to learn more of this and more in depth of this exact thing, how I set up the entire thing, how I understand corrective phases and stuff like that. Come join us. Come join us. Come join us. Come join us. There's a lot that goes to it, but yes, essentially it. Yes, that's a hard rule for sure. Well, what are you waiting for? Come join us. I'll teach you everything I need to know. Anyways, this looks like gonna come test this slow and ETH. So when it comes to again, if you like want to learn more of this and stuff like that, it's just so much. There's just so much. There's just so much that goes into it. It'll be very hard for me to explain it all right now. Even when it comes to ABCs. Here's another one. A hard rule. All your impulsive phases. So your wave 1, 3, not 5, because obviously 5 is your terminal wave. 1 and 3. A, W, I think that's it. Hold on. These son of a guns. Let's see here. Well, all your impulses. Okay. All your impulses. At the corrective phase that happens after it, if the corrective phase you're studying is over before a 1-to-1 of that impulse, again, an impulse could be wave A, it could be wave 1, it could be wave 3, it could be wave W. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that it's impulsive in regards to the entire idea you're studying. So wave 1 and wave 3 are impulsive in the entire impulsive wave, whatever, wave 1 of the large degree. Wave A is the impulsive phase of the ABC, or whatever you want, ABCDE triangle. Wave W is your impulsive phase of your WXY, and so is Y, and so is 3, and stuff like that, but it doesn't matter because you can't really study time at that point. So, the I'm trying to see it. I don't have it. There's just so much. Dang. Yeah, there's just so much that goes into it. I can't really tell you, but those are the hard rules right there, okay? Your adjacent moves will hold the 1/3 time aspect, aka system wave algo. Your impulsive phases will all the corrective. So if you have an impulse and you think it's fucking, you want to long it or want to short it, and you're thinking it's it's gonna be a continuation, at least one more. So if you have an impulse, right, it could be 3 waves. I don't care. It doesn't matter. If your retrace, your corrective phase after this happens, goes like this, that's valid, right? It's 3 waves. Long it, right? No, you don't. Why? Because time says so. You can't do it until time gives you an ability to. If it hits before the 1-to-1, which is here, it's not valid. It's not a valid end. It does not make sense to say it ends. I can't tell you. I'm not going to tell you all the secrets. I'm not going to. If you want more help from me, TA help, want me to look at your charts on a constant basis, daily basis, want one-on-one help from me, come join Elevate. Come join us. But yeah, I shouldn't be doing this in the first place, but I love helping people. The whole reason why I do all this shit is to help people. So again, if you're thinking you want to long this because you have a 3-wave retrace that hits a good fib level, well, you can't. Well, you can, but you can't expect it to go on a new impulsive phase unless unless it's an X wave. Then an X wave will move up into another 5 waves before this 1-to-1 time frame. But if it's going to be a valid wave, subwave, wave 1, wave 2, it has to meet a requirement of the time being a 1/3 of a 1-to-1, at least a 1/3 of a 1-to-1. And so, if I was starting this particular move, both of them, I would be with the idea. I would possibly long this, but my idea would be is that I'm gonna fade this move to the top side. This is why the running and expanding flats. This is why flats are like my favorite fucking thing, because as soon as the impulse ends, for me, it's very easy to understand how complex we're gonna be. Fairly easy because of time. If the first move down is of way lesser time than what we expect and allow, then I know that we're at least by a bare minimum going to have another phase to the upside before another downside to be of a logical conclusion of this initial subwave impulsive phase. So remember, hard rule in your impulsive phases of waves 1, 3, and A. I can't say W because it's half and half with W, but I guess I can say W. Half the time with W, but all the time with wave 1, wave 3, and all the time with wave A. Your secondary move, wave B, wave 2, wave 4, will always be within it will always take at least 1/3, at least a 1-to-1 of that time, with a deviation allowed at 1/3. That's okay. Your W's. Half the time it does that because a WXY can come in 2 different ways. It can come in a very symmetrical where all the phases equal each other in time and price, or it's short and snappy where your X wave short, and thus it won't hold that sister wave compatibility. It would be of 1/3 time of this entire phase. Well, not entire phase. This X will be of 1/3 time of this phase. So W, X will be your 1/3 time frame. That's why I have this here. That's 1/3 of a 1-to-1. This little zone is 1/3 of a 1-to-1, which is your X wave algo targets. But yeah, there's really not a lot of places that talk about time. There's not a lot of people that talk about time. The person I got all this from is Glenn Neely. He is the godfather when it comes to this shit. All the stuff I reiterate is just based on what he basically taught us. So if you want to learn from the Grandmaster himself, I highly recommend it. He's fucking crazy good. Anyways, it's not hidden secret. It's not hidden knowledge. Send me any charts and stuff you want me to analyze and look at. Send me a DM on Twitter and or Discord. The chat room, I don't know, it's weird. Like sometimes your charts come through, sometimes they don't, and so I sometimes won't see them in the chat box. And thank you, bro. I really hope that I would have a better grasp than most people on Twitter, because most people on Twitter don't know what the fuck they're doing. Again, the Elliott wave. Oh, the reason why the time is so important to me is because when you look at a chart, what is the chart made of? It's made of time and price. It's not just price. And everybody just focuses on price. Price. When's the best price to get in? No, you're missing half the story. When's the best price and time to get in? That is a game changer. Once you could master a form of analysis in regards to time, whether it's Elliott wave fib time or just basic fib time or whatever the fuck you want to call it, other forms of analysis in regards to fucking time, it will give you an edge that most traders will never have because they just focus on the one aspect, which is price. But they fail to understand that this fucking chart is made of both price and time. And if you don't respect time, price will never respect you. Yeah, I'm trying to see if I have. What? Hold on. The homie is fucking talking crazy right now. I'm gonna see if I could drop a little. Oh. I guess there's not a lot of people in my stream, so I don't mind pulling this up. This is essentially it. And I shot the guy out. This is not my work. This is founded by this motherfucker. He is the grandmaster of this shit. The grandmaster. Again, this stuff is not really important unless you're studying higher degree corrective phases. But if you're just working the phase you're in, like just working the certain structure you're in, this, all you need is from here to here. Literally. All you need is from here to here. All this, it's not confusing, but it takes a lot more time to grasp. And it doesn't really provide much value, day in, day out. It provides value, on the long-term perspective of things. Like, let me show you an example of when that would play into effect. This is looking pretty ass right now. And let me just go into it real quick. Then we'll jump back over to what we're talking about. We're kind of running behind now with all these questions, but I like questions, so it's okay. So, right here. We have this giant long corrective phase, right? And it was like, how long is this motherfucker going to correct for, right? Everybody was getting embarrassed and shit. But this move here was a motive impulsive phase, right? It was motive impulsive phase. It was an A wave, right? Or it could be wave 1, depending on how you count this. This, to me, is subjective as fuck. It could be labeled 2 ways. And both are very valid. So, in order to find, when can we logically long this wave with the assumption that it made a bottom in both price and time? Well, oh shit, you probably can't do it here very well. Fuck. Well, I'll try it. So, the 4618 and the 4666 are basically your last stands in the line for a corrective phase to end in regards to an initial impulse is correcting. So what does that mean is if we have an impulse like we did here and we end up, I know this tallied off 2 extra days to make the low of this phase, but that was close enough. I usually allow 2 to 3 days of deviation on my rules like this, and this literally just barely hit it. So what does this mean? That we could allow any B wave, or not necessarily a wave 2, because that's kind of really drastic, but we could allow a B wave to extend all the way to a 4666 in regards to time of A. And that's what it means. And this ends up being a flat. And this ends up being X, 1, 2, or ABC. The reason why that's not wave 2, 1, 2. First rule, it retraces too much. A hard guideline by Neil Wave is that any impulse must hold the 6-8, which is here. We broke below it. That is not valid for an impulse. Sure, you can count it like that, but I promise you, over time, you're going to get caught in more bad moves than you're not, if you're not following this guideline. And so this is a valid flat. Look at how the confines of this is clearly an impulse, right? Clearly an impulse. Well, if this is a flat, what the fuck to make this? Well, this is the count I like the most. This can actually be, I honestly would label this WXYXZ. Shit. Let's do that. And it's just because of the way this happened down here. The retrace was too low. The time spent correcting this first move up was too drastic to be wave 2. It has to be wave B or wave X, since this also was a 5-wave impulse, and this was 5-wave. We obviously can't label it as this as X, so it has to be only one thing, which is B wave, right? So that's where that aspect comes into play. But for the most part, the thing you want to really care about is your just within the first section right here between 0.666 and 1.333. The 0.5s and 1.5 that allows for deviation on certain ideas, but you don't go hard on that idea. And look, this works so well, it's not even fucking funny. Because like, for me, the reason why I was adamant on this low being the low was because it hit this low point in a valid time aspect I look for, and it made a perfect 3-wave decline from the high, which was here, right? Perfect 3-wave decline. This move to this move to this move was perfectly a 1.618, literally to the dot. Cannot make that shit up. And it was followed by the fact that everything equaled each other in time. Look at this. Hit a low right where we need it. Literally right where we need it. How can you not be bullish? You know, that's why I was bullish then. That's why I was adamant that this was going to C-wave. I didn't know exactly how we're going to get here, but I was adamant on 9400 being tagged, which is, we haven't got, well, we did get there. I was very adamant on that. Okay, anyways, this enough with that. Looks like Bitcoin's going to roll down one more time. I'm very curious what's going to happen now if that's the case. Let's go back to ETH real quick. It's looking pretty sour. So ETH looks pretty bad. Pretty bad. I want to see something real quick before I give out this. Okay, that's fine. Want to do one more thing here. Let's check something. Okay. So ETH looks like all of this is one move. If we go, I'm pretty sure we should hold this level. I will allow ETH to dip to 196.32 and still be bullish. For the highest degree counter here, what I'm thinking ETH is going to do, where do your chat boxes go? You'll also find that you know, fib extensions are more guidelines than actual rules. Fib retracements are more rules than guidelines. That makes sense? So that's another thing I've learned too while on my journey in this. Extensions are more guidelines, retracements are more rules. Okay? So I'm with the same idea that this is going to end up being a weird WXYXZ, WXYXZ. How this forms up here, I have no idea. I'm just with the idea that it's going to at least take a similar time frame of that. Ooh, this actually works very well. So down, up, down. If we could hold here, I'm going to sustain my bullish outlook on ETH till this high is hit. If we maintain that level, I'm bullish on ETH for another leg up. There's a few ways you can interpret this. For now, let's see the way I'm going to interpret it. That trend line works very well, so I like this idea a lot. because I like an idea doesn't mean shit though. So I'm thinking, let's look at the, it's like I'm saying, the 4 hour, I've never seen the 4 hour get so low without some sort of reaction. Very seldomly it gets this low and just fucking keeps going, except like right here where this little pop up, rejected here. But right now we're just gonna wait for that pop up. If we reject that, then this a huge move to the downside on a high alert. But right now it's looking like it should pop. It should pop. The main trends are all bullish. The scalp tool is saying it's a short possibility, but main trend's bullish. Even on the daily. The 1 hour finally shifted to the downside. The scalp tool started telling you to short here. It wasn't confirmed till here when everything shifted red. But this is my idea on ETH. Again, for this particular move, this looks like 3 waves, so I'm assuming it's going to be a double zigzag. Yeah, it's a black cover. It's a black cover. Black cover. 3x 3. This could be an ABC, A, B, C, and this could end up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is both very valid, both fine. But we could allow ETH to get into this range. I would not like us to get below that before a bounce. We could allow here, but I wouldn't really be happy with that. Okay. So let's go on to Litecoin. So Litecoin looks like kind of like trash. Don't like that either. That's wrong. It shouldn't be labeled like that. 4 is right here for that too. But yeah, label kills. That's the book. This is definitely a zigzag. Double zigzag. Channels very well. We're not going to see new all-time highs. That's my thought. Everybody's calling for all-time highs. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm with this idea too. WXY. A, B, C, or WXY. Either one. As long as we maintain 44.50, I'm going to maintain this bullish outlook on Litecoin. I'd prefer us bounce right now, just like I prefer us bouncing on all our fucking coins. But it's not necessary. We could dive a little bit lower and still be bullish. My idea is this is a giant WXY. We're in a B wave of X, similar to all the coins being that they're all corrective phases. X hits a low exactly where we need it, literally exactly where we need it, valid. So we could assume that Y will at least take, at a bare minimum, of this amount of time, with a maximum of being here. So any up move beyond this would be more bullish. We would assume, for me, if I end up having a high point, so if we end up having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right into that zone, that's a hard short for me because both time and price agree. We have a very valid structure being a WXY, and even in the final subwave structure of the Y, we have a valid A, B, C, and even in the final subwave structure of the C wave of the W of the Y, it's 5 waves, and it happened to make it right in the time we need it. Therefore, yeah, I'm thinking 80. I'm thinking we're going lower. I don't know how much lower we're going, but I'm thinking we're going lower too. I think so. Pretty strange substructure. But this is my idea on Litecoin. Everything should start overlapping because everything's corrective. So everything should just be overlapping, which everything is overlapping. So. See what happens here. Ooh, I don't like Litecoin resting on that trend line at all. That could be a pretty hefty dump there. But if it dumps into this zone and recovers strongly, then we know that this is a very valid account. Okay. Okay, we talked about Litecoin, Bitcoin. Now it's on to FX. Cancel. We're going to cover DXY, gold. We'll touch on one other of the Forex pairs, or maybe two of them. The Euro short that I called for was perfect, so I hope everyone took that. Which was Thursday, I called for a Euro across Euro. This was fucking literally perfect. I called for one more dip to this area and then recover, but this happened so fast. Like, what the fuck? Like, within, like, what the fuck? But anyways, let's go to the 4 hour. I'm thinking of this on gold. I mean, on dollar. Invalid if we start trading below 98.83 again. But until then, I'm bullish on dollar. There's no reason for me to disregard this or I have to explain this. This is what I'm seeing. OG Chevy shifting bullish again. Got the teal coming up. We crossed the 13. We still got a sell signal. But the 4 hour tends to be a little late on fucking Forex. I like the 1 hour for the Forex calls to give confluence. Still got a sell signal, but I'm having a good guess that we're gonna get a good. The way we recovered from this dip was, in my opinion, very telling of what's going to happen. So, I'm expecting this to play out. Expecting it. A, B, C, or WXY, however you want to call it. Giant A, B, C. If this was truly going to break to the downside after this high, at first, I thought this was this, and we took that trade. But then we started doing all this weird shit. So, like, okay, it looks like it's being more complex than what we would assume. And so this when I threw out this idea, is like we're gonna aim for this bottom side TL to bounce. Went a little bit lower than I expected, but so far the recovery from that low has been exactly what I'm really looking for. And so I have no reason to assume we're gonna go down unless we break certain levels. This level is the hard level, but I would be one to say that if we start trading below $99, that would be a good telltale sign to possibly get out of your position. But for now, I'm bullish on the dollar. Looks like we're gonna at least pump, and it fits well with what we're going to talk about for the SPX and Dow Jones. Let's go to gold. See what gold did since the last time we talked. I think that was here. So gold's also doing pretty much exactly what we thought. Again, it went a little bit lower than the bottom than the parallel we assumed. Parallels are just places in time where I assume a good logical shit. Hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ! I didn't mean to do that. Well, it is what it is. So again, the parallel was, exceeded a little bit to the downside, but it is what it is. Just because it exceeded, it doesn't mean the idea was invalid. I'm still with this idea where we're putting up a range up here for some fucking reason. I don't know exactly why we're doing it, but we're doing it. It's going to come up. I'm bullish on gold until these highs are retested again. 1740 to like 1760-ish. Anything above 1760-ish, it'll be bullish. I expect us to reject just above that high and maybe that high, but I would aim for just above that high as well, like that. So the idea here is that this is going to come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Complete this flat up here, and then from this, it's going to be a hard sell, breaking that low. And that would be, from that point, I would say we'd have to watch on complexity, because there could be a chance that this is a W, an X, and a Y. This ends up being an ABC, and then some more complexity forms. So you have to be adamant. Initially, I have this as a possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I feel like I'm forcing that, especially because how small 3 is for this 2. I mean, this 4 is for this 2. Doesn't make sense, really. So I feel like I'm forcing it. Maybe it fits better to W, X, Y. Flat, X, zigzag. To me, that fits better. So this is why this is on high alert. This entire thing where it's going to go like this. Dip lower. But I'll be very curious to see what happens around here. If we break the 1618 of this move here, which is at... Well, we don't know how high this will go, but let's just assume it gets to our targets. If we break 1600, this will go lower. If we get down to this level, so if we go up, go 1, 2, 3, and then from this point, we do this. Well, the big key here is you throw a pivot, throw a line, vertical line on the low, and if you find the first local pivot on this move, let's just pretend. Let's just pretend it's right here. If that local pivot is broken on less time complexity from that low point, then you could assume it's a reversal. But if it does this and breaks that pivot and less, see how this was less of an angle than this was from here to there, and broke that same pivot high in less time. Well, you would start assuming that this is gonna do this, another thing, end up being a bigger thing, and then come back down one more time. If this then does this, breaks that in less time complexity, then you would be buying on. You'd be assuming that this is a pullback and it's a real good buy. Okay. Euro. The euro, again, this euro play was perfect. It was here. We were here. And I said, we're going to short any move up here. Oh, golden fucking. No, little fucking. Literally, that was so fucking perfect. Gosh damn. I am bearish on euro until here. Then we'll see what happens from there. But I'm pretty fucking positive we're going to go all the way down here. So it's like a giant A, B, C, or W, X, Y. And we're now... This move from the top has happened in less time complexity from this move, so we have to assume it's going to be a continuation. Watch for a little flat here. If that happens, that is your entry right there. Boom. Your stop will be at the 886 of this move here. So measure it at 886 from this and put your stop right above that. Any corrective phase, you're shorting to at least this level here. But if you listen to me, you're already short and we're golden, just keep lowering your stop. The stop was originally here at like 1.105, 106. We can now lower it to that level as stated and or just above that high. But why risk that if we know that the rule states any impulsive phase shall not retrace greater than the 6.8? We could put our stop just above the 6.8. I like the 8.86 with the confidence of knowing that if price did end up stopping us out, well, it is most likely because it's not actually an impulsive phase to the downside, and we could walk away knowing that we're not going to miss the move we were looking for, and that is a big key to this. Again, I hope someone took that. Again, another one too. I said we weren't going to talk about Forex so heavily, but fuck, a lot of these Forex plays that we called for last week were golden. We even called for a USD CAD continuation to this high, and from this, it was like here or here, one of the two. It was here. So I went up a little bit, then went up a little bit more, then went up even more. I'm still with the idea that this is going to continue to this high. I'm not exactly sure the entire larger time frame count on USD CAD, but I'm thinking it's gonna do this weird shit. Yeah. So after this high, I'm saying it's gonna come low, clear these lows, and then come up, scan pump one more time. So for an A, a B, and a C, and then from that point, it's gonna get really bearish. It's going to fulfill my entire idea. I've been following for USD CAD for years. I literally started tracking this stupid pattern since like right here. I actually longed, was it along this low, rolled it up to like right here. This is when I learned something in Forex, that fucking price could rocket. Just because shit looks very bearish doesn't mean shit in Forex, or looks very bullish doesn't mean shit. Because we had extreme amounts of divergence here, and this is also when I learned that corrective phases could keep extending, and how to figure out a way to combat that. And now I finally have with time, but that was my first big loss short in Forex right here. I remember that, and I was super salty because then right after the top, it fucking died. Anyways. My entire idea on this is this. This is A. This is B. The reaction off the high is pretty telling of what this is going to end up being. I don't think it's going to be a clean ABC anymore. The way we're reacting off the high, it's looking more like a WXY, which is fine. As long as Y happens in the same amount of time as W, we're okay. We already know that X was elongated, which is fine. So we could have. I'm bearish on CAD on a high time frame all the way until this level, but doesn't mean we could have fun playing with the range. Since this ended up meeting the same high, we're going to be targeting the first two levels at the 6-8 and the 1-to-1, with a max of being a 1-2-3-6. A 1-to-1 makes a lot of sense. Sorry, my nose is running right now. Fucking annoying. That makes a lot of sense, but we have to be aware of this algo here being very very logical place for reversal. It has a lot of liquidity here. A lot of these lows as have been tested. So I can see a bounce coming here. But in my opinion, we're going to form a zigzag. This is a flat. This is a zigzag. By Neo Wave rules. By traditional Elliott Wave, this is probably a flat because the extension here wasn't where you needed to be. But since this retrace was less than 6-8 of this, we assume this, we label this as zigzag. So we assume that this here is probably going to be a flat or a triangle. It could be a zigzag, but most likely it will be a flat or a triangle. So if it's going to be a flat, it'll do this, which will make sense for why I think it will be a pretty fair bounce here. Come up pretty high, come up down, and clear that low one more time, and that will be completion of Y in both time and price. Gosh, dang, my nose is annoying. Okay, that. Now we can go to. This was also a really good play. Called for a continuation short here. It's coming all the way down now, so I said a little shot for a bounce here. No bounce. I'm still thinking this level before we even can assume a possible trade to the upside on GPD. Gosh dang, my nose is fucking going crazy right now. So let's jump to the traditional markets and we'll get out of here. No real change on GPD. My higher degree time count is this. So if you're short, pay attention to see what happens on this level here. If we nuke it, then we're going to come down to this low here. Okay? If we bounce, which I think we're going to have a bounce, but I don't think it's going to be anything significant. It's going to go boom, boom, boom. If we do that, stay below the 6-8, which is about here. Short the fucker. Again, add it. Add to your position. Drop your stop. This is not the cleanest impulse either, so this cannot happen. The reason why I'm assuming this, regardless, is because even if this isn't a 5-wave impulse, and it's some 3-wave fucking WXY or some shit, well, the only way that this does not correct for a 1-to-1 time is if it's a WXY, which I'm thinking is already disproven at this point. And so this is why I was a believer that we made this high point. We had a whole bunch of people bullish. Well, we didn't correct enough. We did not correct enough. We did not correct enough, right? That low was made in way too fast of a time. Way too fast. We have to make a low here, but we didn't. We made a high point in the time we looked for a low point. So we could short that with confidence, knowing that in order for us to confidently say we have made a bottom, we need time to agree with price. We made a 3-wave decline after we made a 5-wave rise, and we retraced the minimum amount, which is the 382, I think, right there. Well, I just missed it. Right, we made a 3-wave decline after a 5-wave rise, so we could assume, okay, new impulse. No, it's not. We did not make it. We did not retrace in the amount of time we need. It was way too fast. Therefore, this most likely would have come up one more time and then come down one more time, which is exactly what we're seeing. So I have no reason to disregard this idea. Okay. Last thing we get out of here. Traditional. Start with SPX. This one was pretty good for me. This has been basically the count forever. Since like right up here is when I proposed this. I'm still with this too. No change for this. We have completed the first part of this move. So we're here. Obviously we went higher with the first leg than I thought. What I'm thinking is going to happen is we're done with this. Our first motive wave of this entire phase is done. We could do this. A, B, C, X. The way this looks, like, it makes me seem like we're going to bounce and scam pump people and then die. But I'm with the idea that for the month of May and June, maybe even July, we're going to see a retrace on all the markets. Crypto, we'll see what Bitcoin does, but this is the reason why, I'm thinking Bitcoin also hit a major high point, because SPX also agrees. And although they don't correlate exactly, you have to pay attention to shit. Same idea with the DGI. Same essentially idea. I propose this up here, and I have no reason to disbelieve that this is not going to happen. Test this area here. If we break below the 6.8, then it confirms this as a B wave. If we hold this box, then we have a high alert that this could end up being a fucking impulse, which would be crazy, but we have to be aware of rules and guidelines. If it does that, it's a high alert to do that. Don't think that'll happen. I think this is going to end up being an ABC like this. To the downside. Essentially the same idea. Wait, did I just... Are these the same thing? Oh no, they look the same. Like literally exactly the same. It's funny. My DGI chart was literally perfect though. Like look at that. You literally cannot... Now I posted this for free with an extremely in-depth analysis that I need to actually redo or fucking repost, not repost, but make a new post to it because we're now hit the target, the upside target that this low side target met was calling for. So since we hit that, I need to make a new chart. Anyways, no change on DGI. I'm expecting us to, like I said, correct for the next 2 to 3 months. If we end up breaking back over 24,500, I'll have to assume that this is just going to continue up for some reason. But for now, I'm thinking we're going to retrace for the next 2 to 3 months. And that's why I'm with the idea that, you know, Bitcoin, we made a major top. And we're now correcting it. We're now correcting it. Where's June, though? Let's see here. So that works. That works actually pretty well for us. You know, it mimics the time that we're looking for on traditional markets. So we're politically correct. June, the closest we could assume an upside move would be May 22nd. Happy birthday, my sister. With the max being June 16th. If we end up correcting further than June 16th, then that confirms this is a B wave. If we end up springing from the low point stated, then it has a high chance of being wave 3. But if we correct further, break to 6.8, then it confirms B wave, and it confirms the B wave of the B wave, which is this right here. And we're gonna actually capitulate the traditional markets are actually going to capitulate. This was nothing. This is the actual fucking dagger right here. But I don't think that happens for quite some time. I'm thinking this won't happen until 2021, maybe even 2022. This here will be painstaking. I feel like it's gonna fucking kill people. So we'll see. All right, guys and girls, I think that's just all. I think that's all we have to talk about today. So if you have any last minute questions or concerns or requests, please, this is your time to do that. Because if not, then in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'll start transitioning out of here. Alright? Again, if it's your first time tuning in, thank you, first of all. Second of all, if you're looking for a very specific, coin for me to chart, I most likely won't do that for you. And here's why. It's because the goal of this stream isn't to accurately track 60 pairs in crypto, 40 pairs in Forex, and fucking 6 pairs in stock market. It's not to do that. It's to find the charts that make sense to us and to trade them with the utmost precision to make fucking money on. I don't care about accurately tracking fucking 600 pairs, 30 pairs, 60 pairs, 50 pairs, 40 pairs, 20 pairs. All I care about is tracking a handful of pairs, whether it's 2 to 3 pairs in the stock market, 2 to 3 pairs in crypto, 2 to 3 pairs in Forex. All I care about is tracking them accurately so we can make money. That's what this stream is about. If you're coming to this stream for TA on your coins, on your shit coins, I don't give a fuck. Go keep holding that shit. The real money learns how to trade and learns how to work the markets and figure out where market's going to go. That's where the real money comes at. All right? So, again, if it's your first time coming to this, that's what you can expect here. You can expect some top-notch money-making opportunities to be fucking displayed here. As well as on Sundays, it'll be your high time frame. And then your intradays is when we really get some fun playing. We'll play your intraday plays, have your day trades, and that's where I primarily operate, and that's where you'll see all of my tools get pulled out there in regards to what I know and what I do. So if you're looking for a high time frame only, Sunday's your day. Looking for low time frame day trades, then Tuesday and Thursday's your day. Okay? So with that, everyone, I'm seeing that we're not getting any requests or anything like that. So this is about the time where I say goodbye. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell me what I can do better, tell me what you hate, what you love. I look at all of it, and all of it matters to me. I want your input. I want your input so I can see what I can do better, how I can keep providing that most value I could possibly provide while we do this, and making it so it's very easy for everybody to understand and follow along. Right? So do that. And then if you haven't by now, please go to my website, www.elevate-trading.com. Go make yourself a free website. Go make yourself a free profile. Up in the top right hand corner, it says login. Click on it. You can sign up with Google, Facebook, or your email for free. And you'll get all my high time frame analysis on SPX/DGI. They essentially do the same shit. Bitcoin, and I'm going to start throwing in Ethereum pretty soon, I think within the next month, okay? So please go do that. Over the next year, I plan on dropping more goodies for free for people who are just signing up on our website to provide more value, so we get more people on our website. You know, I want everybody to see what we provide, what the value provide. Not only, you know, the paid services, but the free services. I want to show you guys, you know, I want to give as much to the people as I possibly can. That's all I want to do. That's all I want. So please go make your free website, www.elevate-trading.com. I keep saying this is about 2 weeks now, but I promise I'll get this update tonight. Last time I said that. If I don't update it tonight, then everybody who's on this stream will get $100 in Bitcoin. Everyone. If I don't update my website tonight, everyone here will get $100 in Bitcoin. But you also have to go sign up for my website. If you don't do that, then you won't get the $100. All right, but I'm probably gonna do it now. So again, thank you everybody for tuning in. You can catch me, your boy, this Tuesday at approximately 7 to 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and we'll get it popping. All right, intraday as always on those midweek days, and yeah. So with that, everybody, please keep listening to your health officials. Please stay inside. Do what you need to do. Wear a mask. Don't be stupid. Be respectful. Be freaking responsible, and do the right thing. Follow your officials. Hopefully all this bullshit will be over sooner than it's not, and we'll get back to living a normal life. All right. So catch me again, your boy Satoshi motherfucking Heavy, this Tuesday with another dose of crypto. Until then, everyone have a great fucking night. Peace the fuck out.
Welcome to the free world. I was hoping that we could fix this over time. Only focusing on